People make better decisions when they have better information. I'm Heidi Marttila-Losure, editor at Dakotafire Media, where we're using that idea to pursue an ambitious goal, sparking rural revival. We aim to do it one thought-provoking story at a time. Here's how. In our part of the Dakotas, the big issue underlying most of the challenges we face is population loss. Many young people leave when they graduate and not enough return or come from elsewhere. This is the Leola, South Dakota senior class of 2012, all 10 of them. You can see how the class sizes have decreased over the years. Our weekly newspapers report on depopulation as best they can, but they don't have the resources to look at the issue deeply on their own. Melody from Gackle, North Dakota, pictured here, runs the newspaper pretty much by herself and also runs a gift shop and is the lead member of the local volunteer ambulance service. She's not unusual for our newspapers. The newspapers are located far enough apart that they wouldn't normally work together, but through Dakotafire they can. Dakotafire brings the efforts of these newspapers together so that they can take their journalism to another level, providing their readers with better information so they know not only what the problem is, but also that solutions are possible. For example, a newspaper might do a story about the local church moving services to Saturday night. The church, less than half the size it once was, has to share a minister with the next town over because they're having trouble calling a minister of their own. And there are only so many churches a pastor can get to on Sunday morning. Through Dakotafire, we can take that story to a deeper level. We learn this church isn't the only one. Many rural churches are struggling with fewer members. And we find out that part of the reason they're having this trouble is because, unlike 2 generations ago, most pastors are from the suburbs, but most churches are still rural. Then we learn about solutions. In one town, 3 churches of different denominations combined, and their services have parts of all 3 traditions now. An expert encourages churches to look at what purpose they serve in today's society. They're fighting to survive, but surviving for what purpose? That purpose needs to guide their efforts. This is the kind of information that can help make a difference in our communities. We are encouraging our newspaper partners to think of themselves not just as providers of information, but also of context and of inspiration. They can help their communities start to think differently about themselves. Some of the topics we've covered are how the way we farm affects our communities, how young people are leading the way on recycling efforts, and how entrepreneurship education is helping young people envision a way they can make a living in their home communities. Our next magazine topic is on the transfer of wealth set to happen in the Dakotas and how that could affect our communities. 14 newspapers so far are taking part in the project. Our goal is to have 20 by the end of 2014. We focused on a region defined by a watershed because the geography and topography, the predominant industry of agriculture, and the demographics are all similar, so the issues and challenges these people face are also similar. The Dakotafire team connects almost entirely by phone or email using our Basecamp project management software. We have a phone conference once a month where we discuss story ideas, and then I send out emails giving suggested questions for interviews. I also have a team of advisors made up of rural experts from around the country that provide guidance on story ideas. The newspapers send me back notes from interviews they've done with people in their communities, plus photos every 2 weeks. I add some data or research or expert interviews and combine the results into one big package with text, photos, and sometimes infographics. Every 2 weeks, the stories are published in the participating newspapers and on dakotafire.net. We also publish a quarterly magazine, which has additional content from freelancers. It is distributed as an insert in the newspapers. The feedback we've received from our stories has been overwhelmingly positive, but it's not always measurable by Google Analytics. Much of our typical readership at this point is not all that tech-savvy. I've received many handwritten comments and a few also typed on the typewriter. We do have a strong presence on Facebook and Twitter, and we also have a new forum site called Dakotafire.com. It's a mind mixer site which has some game theory at its root. People are encouraged to take part in conversations by earning points, which can be redeemed for rewards, such as a fine Dakotafire travel mug. The project is part of the Night Community Information Challenge, which has the goal of encouraging community foundations to support healthy information ecosystems, in addition to all the other good things that they support in their communities. The South Dakota Community Foundation is the actual fiscal sponsor of the project. Funding comes from the Knight Foundation, the South Dakota Community Foundation, and corporate and individual sponsors, plus a start of income from advertising and subscriptions. We're excited to be forming some new partnerships that we think will help propel us forward, both with additional content and the possibility of new revenue. One of our future plans is working more with youth. I'm doing a separate project, a community newsletter, with a group of high schoolers in my hometown. And I'm hopeful we'll eventually be able to set up a system that could get them and other students involved in reporting for Dakotafire. Our editorial philosophy, borrowed from my favorite author, Wendell Berry, is this: for every decision we should ask, how will this affect the community? I don't know if asking this question alone will help our communities thrive, but it should at least help us keep our communities from getting worse. So every 2 weeks we ask that question: how will this affect the community? About one topic, which results in one story. And that story gives people just a little more information to make a better decision about an issue that affects their lives. And one story at a time, we're sparking world revival. Thank you.